Coming to you live from the Lone Star Studios, this is another episode of Til'ton the Scales. Here are your hosts Walter the Wise Man Hall, Chet the Heartbreak Kid Bowen, and Nathan Logan. Do us a favor and smash that like or subscribe button. Like, comment, and share any of our content. Your feedback will make a difference and make us better because we can't get any worse.
For logging on, and welcome to another episode of Tilton the Scales. It's good to
Yeah.
see y'all. I apologize again for being late. So it was an impromptu. There's I coach at a CrossFit gym. There's a CrossFit affiliate like gathering slash seminar this weekend in Austin, and it happens to be the regional one, which last year it was held up in Fort Worth. But anyway, there's a bunch of coaches, a bunch of people that do a lot of things with health and fitness, and I was there all day today, and I'll be there all day tomorrow, but I wasn't expecting to be down there this late. I worked out. I did a bunch of stuff while we were down there. I'm actually very tired. The workout was grueling. Had a couple drinks, but I didn't drive my truck down there. I took like the Metro Rail down there, which
Yeah.
took a little
That's
bit
a
longer.
responsible decision.
Yeah.
That was a very responsible decision.
And listen, you don't need to apologize to us. Life happens, and if we're nothing if not flexible, there's
Yeah.
plenty of times when Chet and I can't make it for various reasons, and
It's happened.
there is no ill will. We do not take it personally. So we were
I
hoping
know,
for a better
that's the
story.
kind of-
We were hoping for a better story. Frankly, that's a fine story. I'm not trying to put down your story, but we were hoping for a better story. To be honest with you,
That's the kind of people that you are. You're not going to be upset at me, and I appreciate that. But I mean, I'm learning more about health and fitness, and I think that'll fit right into our first conversation. I wanted to talk about how the things that we do daily that can affect our mental health without us even knowing, and really it's like on a scientific level. Like I think we're all educated enough, and we all read enough and understand. You work out, you release endorphins. Those endorphins raise cortisol levels, reduce cortisol levels, which reduces stress. And then through that, inherently, just working out will make you feel better and reduce stress. And there's a lot of other things that we can do within our daily routine to mitigate things like stress. So I wanted to talk about that because again, stress is a indicator of needing to do something about your mental health or focusing on your mental health, depending on the level of stress that you have. So it's one of those things, an early indicator that maybe you can change something, you can do something, even if it's a small little thing again, in your daily routine. So, I mean, just working out in general, I know it's hard to create a routine, especially I was where you guys were, 15 years ago, younger kids having to do the daily grind with the kids, family comes first. We all understand that. So it's important to find a routine that works for you, that also, when you do it, doesn't feel selfish. So it's not like a double negative. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I need to do this, but I feel like I'm taking time away from my family. So, that's just really one of those things that you need to figure out. And there's a few ways to like talk about that, right? Like, so I used to get up. I've been in the Army since we graduated high school, so I've always been used to getting up early. But even when I had kids and my daughter was in school and doing things with school and had extracurricular activities after school, I knew that I had to get it in the morning so that it was uninterrupted. And conveniently, that's also when everyone else is asleep.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna bother you. They're not gonna interrupt you. So then you can get that in uninterrupted, and then it doesn't turn into me time. Me time might turn into you spending time with the kids and allowing the wife or the other half to go off and do me time for her. And then again, hopefully that's a win-win situation too. But I mean, the basis is it's got to start somewhere. So if there isn't already that routine, not only just working out, but also nutrition as well, because nutrition is actually the foundation of working out or fitness, right? And nutrition is also the foundation of living a healthy lifestyle. So, like those two things, the fitness and the nutrition are very important. And when we talk about, I think we all know, and we've all probably at some point actually done it, like done like a faddish type diet or a faddish type workout to
For sure.
try and reduce, trying to get jumpstart things, reduce weight, in a quick manner, like cutting carbs for 30 days or sugar-free detox for 30 days to reduce, again, to reduce weight or whatever the goal might be. But what really needs to happen is it needs to be the changes that you make or that you implement with yourself need to be, life changing in a sense. It is something that I can adapt to and do continuously for the foreseeable future. Because one thing that you can probably say, if you know you need to work out, you can say that I'm going to work out for the rest of my life. Like
Yeah.
that's healthy for you. So you know that you need to do that. And that's a realistic thing to say. Like, I'm going to work out the rest of my life in some way, shape, or fashion. You work out 3 days a week, that's still working out. If that works in your schedule, that's still a healthy lifestyle. Another thing that you're always going to more than likely be doing is not having a lot of time because of all the other commitments that you have. So, not having the time to start it shouldn't be an excuse, because that's almost the best time to start it, because it's something that I can fit it in here, and then I can adjust, fit it in here. I can adjust, fit it in here. It's almost like not necessarily flying by the seat of your pants, but you've got to figure out that schedule, because those are the two things that are probably going to be true for the rest of your life. You're going to have very little time, and then you want to work out because you want to be healthy for your family, for your kids. So you got to mitigate, figure out what works for you, the time schedule, the time duration. Sometimes it doesn't need to be, 3 hours in the gym, because no one has that time. If it's 20 minutes on the treadmill, if it's 20 minutes walking with the kids, if it's 20, playing with the kids, especially the older they get, like those little things count, and that should be considered, your gym time, or your the time that you induce stress on your body to raise your heartbeat and your breathing rate, and then you're essentially working out. So those are some of the things that you can think about. And then the nutrition piece, that's just got to happen. And it's a lot harder with kids, right? Because we just try to tend to do what's convenient for them. And then what do? You sometimes, most of the time, you eat the same thing that they do, or pick at what they're eating, eat their seconds. Like the diet is probably the most crucial thing. And when we all know the health considerations when it comes to diet, you know, uh, diabetes doesn't even need to be hereditary. Diabetes can be induced because of your diet, because you eat sugars that are high in, or foods that are high in sugar or fructose, and you continue to give those type of nutrients to your body. And again, those are all things that are conducive to inducing stress and putting your body in duress. And again, we're talking about mental health. Uh, so I think you guys probably can chime in with a routine that you might have, a routine that you do, something that you've been thinking about, questions.
Go, Wally.
It's funny you say this, because Chet and I were chatting a little bit before we got on about our. In fact, we got workout equipment behind us, and Chet just got a new setup at his house. So we were just having a conversation about having it like in our house and easily accessible, and being able to use it accordingly. And it's a lot easier when you have the equipment downstairs to be able to squeeze in a workout here and there. Having said that, This is an area that I have clearly had a deficit in, and I don't do nearly enough of. So that's something that I need to focus on more as we kind of go forward, because I don't do enough of that. And I've got all the excuses, and right now you listen them all off, but ultimately they're just excuses. I mean, there is time. It's easy to make time. It's just a matter of kind of snapping into a routine and making it a routine that I've got to get better at. That's for the stuff like that. I am good about being active in terms of like, I like tying it into nature, going out for hikes, going out for like coming into hunting season. I hunt hard, I hunt heavy. I'm out there with packs on, going through the woods, carrying equipment. I'll hike miles. So stuff like that, I think doing that in a routine is where you can get a workout while being social, while being in a group and doing something you enjoy. I try to build that in, and I think it's an easy thing to do with kids too. It not only does it bring me into nature, which for me is very peaceful, it's also gets my kids out away from the screens, away from the refined sugars, things along those lines, and we can enjoy things as a group. So for me, that's the way I try to fit in my wellness, is try to do things that I can do with other people. I can do social, my kids would enjoy. That's also healthy for me. And again, getting out in the woods is something that helps keep my wellness at a high level. Getting away from the TV, away from the screens, getting away from paved roads and telephone lines, and just being out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. How about you, Chet?
So I think the working out part, for me, I realized sometime around 2004 or 5 after college that like working out is a prerequisite. If you don't do it, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough sledding. If you don't work out at all, or get your energy out, like, I don't care how you work out, like go in nature, take hikes, work out in your equipment, whatever. If you don't do that, it's going to be tough sledding. And there's a long time that I still weighed a lot more because my nutrition was bad, but the working out still helped me. The other thing I've noticed for mental health is that the ability to be grateful is huge. And I think that we see these people at, these super high levels. And if we think if we're not them, we're not good enough. If we're not Elon Musk, for instance, like I'm not saying his politics, but like if we don't have as much money as he has, that we haven't made it. I think that is it's a damaging thing to so many people that are sensitive to that kind of thing. And so I have the ability to be grateful. Like I grew up in a very different place than this. I love what I have. The property they own is bigger than the trailer park I grew up in. I'm pretty grateful, genuinely, every day. I got wonderful kids. Like these are things I say to myself out loud every day that remind me that, man, I got pretty fortunate as far as like where I started to versus where I am right now. And I think that's a big piece. So working out, number one, or getting energy out in one way or another is number one. Without that, you can never get there. And then secondly, being grateful. So that like, when it comes to mental health, I think that's a huge piece.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that you guys have said, and I like the fact that you guys definitely. I know you always try to consider to take the time. The thing to consider is the time that you're putting in. It's good to have goals as well. Like I'm not just doing this to do this. Like the long-term goal, if the long-term goal is to play with my grandkids without having aches and pains in my body, like that's a realistic goal. Like a realistic long-term goal, obviously, but a realistic short-term goal should be like, if you've been working out, like, I mean, realistically, like let's say you get on the treadmill and that's what you do, like you should be collecting data when you get on the treadmill. So like next time, if I did 20 minutes today, can I do 25 minutes tomorrow? Or can I do, or instead of doing 20 minutes, what was my heart rate? What was the distance that I covered? Can I still do 20 minutes? And then today I cover more distance on that treadmill, go a little bit farther, go a little bit faster. I always, again, I had the privilege of being in the military, so I always felt like I had to do something that was pushing myself to a limit where, worst case scenario, worst day of my life, I could handle myself. in a anaerobic capacity, muscular endurance capacity. So like my training has always been geared towards that. And there's other reasons also why I do it. Like it's one of the most difficult things that I do to start my day there. And therefore, like mentally, I'm prepared to handle anything that comes at me that day, no matter what the stress level is. Like, it could be the worst day that I've had, all year, but it's really not going to be that bad because it's going to be over at the end of the day. Uh, so I've always approached it that way, but I'm not, you know, we're not all the same, and we don't all have the same goals. Like you said, Chet, that's a good point. Like, uh, the masculinity portion of it, like just getting into a gym and then seeing other people do other things or the same thing that you want to do, and they're doing it at a higher level. Uh, we don't take into consideration like, well, that person's been going to the gym for, you know, we could probably put it into terms of like that individual has more time on his hands, doesn't have kids, spends 3 hours in the gym each day. Like ultimately, I wish I could live that life, but that is not me. And so, good for him for doing that, but that's not my real. That's not me today. That isn't going to be me in 3 years. But if I start today, I'll be one step closer to that. And the goal is, one acronym that I use is GBED, get better every day. Like you go to the gym, you get it in, you do something, and then the next day it's the same thing. The next day it's the same thing. And you're just adding on. But it doesn't help to not start. The best thing is to start, and then the next day is another start, or the next day is another start. You just pile on those starts and then just keep going, keep moving forward. And again, that's just something that I've always, just through the lifestyle with the military, I always wanted to lead from the front. I always wanted to be the most fit in my unit. For the most part, I was, and I surrounded myself with people that were as fit as me and even fitter, and we pushed each other. Iron sharpens iron. A good community, again, a good support community. I never thought that I would enjoy CrossFit because I didn't think that I would like a class environment. But it's just like anything else. If you're around like-minded people, and then when I say like-minded people, there's nobody in the gym that I go to that is like, I need to go harder, faster every day because I need to be able to pull somebody out of a burning vehicle when there's an accident on the highway.
Yeah.
There's no one that thinks that at my gym. That's how I approach every workout. And then I also look at everybody else, and everyone else is challenging me in one way, shape, or form, whether it's during the warm up and then the actual workout. Like whether they know it or not, each one of them inspires me, each one of them pushes me to go harder. So having that community built around you to support you is also important. Like when you think about, how much money do you want to spend on a gym membership, or how much money do you want to spend to go to the gym on gym equipment at your house? That's also a consideration as well. That money that you're spending is an investment in you and your future, and potentially your kids too, right? So when you think about those things, there's also a level of responsibility for you, right? Like if I'm just buying gym equipment at my house to make it convenient, how committed am I to this goal that I have? Right? Now, if I paid a fee at a gym, would that up the commitment level? Just because none of us like to waste money, right? But would that up the commitment level? Meaning now I'm held accountable. I got to get in there. And then also at the same time, if I'm just going to like the regular Globo gym where you scan a card to get in, if I paid for, again, well, I'll use CrossFit as an example because that's what I do. If I paid for a CrossFit membership and I go 16 times a month, but I pay up near $200 a month, am I going to the other gym 16 times a month? And also, am I getting the same amount of effort into and improvement as well? Because again, you have a coach that's walking you through everything, teaching you movements, talking to you about nutrition, seeing how you perform each day. Like, again, what is the level of commitment that you have? What do you want to commit to it as far as finances? And then also, again, like, where the excuse might be, well, I don't have the money. Well, I think more than likely we all probably have the money. We're not committed to spending that money because we don't know what the results would be like. But as soon as we see the results and see what that can do for us, then our attitude changes, and it's like, and it does. We do see a level of commitment to ourselves and to the gym itself. So it's just one of those things that, yeah, you gotta start at some point, and then everybody's not the same. So CrossFit is free online. You can go to CrossFit.com. All the workouts are there. But
All right.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't really. I'm usually not a guy that harps on it and plugs it a lot, but it's been very beneficial for me.
It sounds like you had a really good day today, probably an inspiring day today, is what it sounds like.
It was, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was right in
good
line
deal.
with our conversation too. I wasn't expecting that. So
Good.
But, yeah. Any final remarks from y'all about?
No, man, I like coming to you. I like you coming in so fired up. This is nice.
I like it too. That's great.
Well, I like that y'all like it. I really do. There are days like this. I wish that I was back there sometimes.
Uh,
Because I'd like
there's
to
a day.
go.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm just saying, there's a day that I have. It's called every day that I wish you were back here too.
Because I'd love to go to the gym with y'all. I'd love to take
Ah.
y'all to CrossFit. Have you
Be awesome.
experience it, because it sucks. It really does.
Yeah. I need
it
a little
sucks.
external motivation. That'd be nice. That's what I need.
Yeah, I'd love to. So today we did our workout. We did a bunch of bench press before we even started the workout, and then the workout was, we partnered up, and it's a complex. So it's like 3 different movements tied together, kind of like the prison yard burpee, where you
Oh,
where you hit the ground, do a jumping jack, do like a squat. Anyway, it was Curtis P is the name of it, and it was, you do a clean from the ground with 135. So you clean it up to your shoulders. So ground to shoulders. Then you do a left and a right lunge, and then you press it overhead, and that's 1. And we had to do 100 of those.
Jesus Christ.
It was 50,
Ow, my back hurts.
between my partner and I, right? But
Gotcha.
we had
100 total.
20
Yeah.
minutes to do that. 20 minutes to do that. And it was you go, I go, you go, I go. And
man.
I was gassed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was pretty tired. I still am, but it was a good workout. It was a good day. And again, I'm sorry I'm late.
All right, lead us through.
Just to point out something that I already said, but again, like when we talk about these changes that we want to make or institute in our lives when it comes to fitness and nutrition, the most important thing is to make it a lifestyle change, not something that I can do this month, but I'll have to figure it out again next month, especially when it comes to nutrition. Again, nutrition is the easiest way to start.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to start, because you can always go to the grocery store and just stay in the produce aisle. Just get fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, foods and low carbs. Stay away from all of the foods that are mass produced and have preservatives. Some of them I like, and I tend to use those as a cheat meal. But I mean, for the most part, I can always eat cleaner. And I think all of us can do that. And then again, when you do those things, diet and nutrition and exercise, like your kids see that. So your kids see the benefits of it. They learn at an early age. Then they're the ones that, surprisingly at a party, they choose an apple over a cupcake for whatever reason. And you're just like, wow, that's amazing. Maybe they already had 3 and you didn't know, and now it's time for an apple, but anyway, it's good to talk to y'all. How was your week, Chet?
Oh, my week was great. Trick or treating last night was fantastic. We had our first flag football game, and we have another one tomorrow. So yeah, it's the first relaxing week we've had since middle of August. There's no practice, there's no anything, so it's been a good week. I have a little withdrawal though from the busyness, and so does Cameron. So we're going through that, but yeah, week was all right.
Yeah, that's good. How about yours, Wally?
Great week. Halloween's a magical time when in small town America. My neighborhood did it up right. The kids had a great time. I had a nice time seeing all the neighbors. I came back from Alabama, spending time with my siblings and my mother. It was a great trip. Surprised my older sister for her birthday. Fantastic. Went down to Birmingham, had a lot of fun. Boy, you guys take college football so seriously in the South.
Ooh,
like
right.
It is religion. I have a niece and a nephew that one goes to Auburn and one goes to Alabama. Now, obviously, Alabama's better than Auburn at this time, but it's a fierce rivalry in the state of Alabama. And you wear orange or you wear red. If you wear red, people just say Roll Tide to you all the time. If you wear orange, they're going to say War Eagle to you all the time. This is to call it a religion probably doesn't do it justice, because I think they're probably more devout to their college affiliation than they are to their religious affiliation. Great time, great experience. The barbecue down there is no joke. I really enjoyed Birmingham. Great time, great. And you know what? I don't get to spend enough time with my siblings absent no kid. It was just nice. It was nice. It was very nice.
It's awesome.
How was your week, Nate? Did you do anything exciting?
Nothing exciting, no. My bank account was hacked yesterday.
Oh
no. Yeah, they took a bunch of money out, but it's all insured or whatever. And I'm just waiting for the process to give me my money back. But yeah,
it usually happens. It usually happens pretty quick. It's happened to me a couple of years back. They had it back within a couple of days.
Yeah, USA is pretty good about it. The difference in the transactions determines how long the investigation takes. So they took about $5,000 in like 12 different debit transactions, which were transfers to another account. Those take like 2 days, and then there were 2 other charges that were disputed that were totaled $1,500, and those will take up to 10 days, they said, but it could all take up to 2 to 3 days, but we'll see.
God damn, Nate, that sucked. Any idea?
That does suck. I'm sorry.
Somebody scan your card, or any idea how it happened?
Oh man. Well, I'll tell the story since it might
here.
help somebody else. Yeah. So USA is really good at giving me security alerts when there's suspicious activity. I got a text message from USA saying that there was a security alert. I called them, talked to a representative. They said, yeah, we see a transaction, but there's no money attached to it. It's just a transaction. They gave me the company name. I looked it up. They're like, what would you like us to do? Because there is no money attached to it, but that's the only thing that we see. And I was like, well, what would you normally do? They're like, well, we'd put a hold on the account and give you another card and probably go through some more security protocols. I'm like, well, put a hold on the card. Give me about 30 minutes to an hour to figure out if this is something I did, if it was, whatever it was, if I could figure it out. And they're like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And I said I'd call them back in an hour. Well, I had to make a purchase for something, so you can unblock your card from the app. So I unblocked the card, made the purchase. Then I meant to call them back and put the block back on, but I had to go to the gym. I had to coach. Long story short, I didn't call back until I was about to get in the shower, and I got another security alert saying that there was suspicious activity. Do you want us to call you? So I set the phone down, hopped in the shower, got out, replied yes. They called me. Well, that was the breach. That was somebody.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
no.
somebody called the person that I talked to, gave me their USAA credentials, gave me their name and their employee ID. I did not give them anything over the phone. They were telling me things about. They were looking at my account.
They were
while they were
verifying.
on the phone, and
Fuck
they
this.
were sending. They were sending me emails. They were sending me again more security alerts. Like, hey, do you see this? We just sent you. We need you to verify this PIN number that we sent you.
Did they
It
ask
was-
for your password?
That was the kicker. Yes, they did, and I should not have done that. They didn't ask over
Not
the
your fault.
phone.
They're just
They didn't ask over the phone. They used.
They
text
sent you a
message.
fake. They sent you a fake link that you clicked and then you typed it in there.
But it would no. It wasn't even in the link. It was just answering a text message, which USAA does that all the time, but they don't ask for. They will never ask. And I learned this today. They will never ask for your username and password, and that's what I did. But this person went through. This person went through all the USA protocols. They went through all of
They're very
the security
sophisticated.
protocols.
Yeah.
They told me that I was disputing charges. They're like, "Yep, we're filing a dispute for these two charges. You should have the money back in 3 to 4 business days. We're also going to put a hold on your card. We're going to send you a new one at this address. Is this can you confirm?" They didn't ask me to confirm my address. They said, "I want to confirm your address is," and then they said my address out. I'm like, "Yep, that's my address." And again, they were whatever they had, however they did it, they had basically a clone, I'm guessing, of my account and others' accounts, and they could view it, and they just needed certain things, which I ignorantly gave them to access my money and access my account. So, and they even said that they saw the same transaction that was the original one that I actually called USA and talked to them about. They're like, "Yeah, we see that," and it, for whatever reason, it was the breach was somewhere in Colorado Springs. I should have, what I should have done at that point, well, long before then, was just hang up the phone and call USAA and talk to them after calling them, not somebody that called me.
It's hindsight, but
That sucks, Nate. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that happened.
It's all right.
Having said that, I think maybe we need to start a financial wellness segment of our podcast to go along with our, mental health wellness segment. Because it's just as important. I find that what my mental health and my financial health are very innately tied together in both directions, if that makes sense. Meaning I spend frivolously when I'm not well. And and when I'm doing better financially, I tend to have less concerns or less stress, certainly.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. We need to. That'll be on the docket for next week. Let's do that.
I'll take that on.
Yeah.
Nate, speaking next week, I'll be in Austin Friday night, right?
Oh shoot! Yeah. Let's do it, man.
So I'm trying to find a way.
Yeah, let me know what your schedule is. I will, if I need to meet you out and about, at like 10 o'clock for a last second, even if it's at the hotel, I'll meet y'all there, man. Just for
I'm at a buddy's house, so I'm thinking like I'll talk to Sabrina, I'll talk to them, but we could possibly. I can't do the podcast long, obviously, but I would love to you and I hang out, get Wally on. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, definitely, I'd love to. You want to do the podcast though? Oh, you said you can't do it long. I got you.
I can't do it long, but I can still do it. That's my hope anyway. I think we get in your time around 6:45.
Okay.
So that's still pretty early.
That is early. Yeah, that is early. On Friday, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I will make time to see you, man, my man. You're in my area. You're in my area code. You're in the 512.
Less than 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
how long
to
is that
Austin?
actually?
Yeah.
Austin, yeah.
No, it's 30 minutes from where I'm at.
30 minutes?
What?
Holy
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's where I just came from.
For
That's
some
where I
reason-
just came from.
30 minutes. Oh, that's nothing. You can take a tea there?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There's zero reason you guys can't get there is zero reason. You can't get even for a coffee in the morning. Like there's 100 things you could do.
Yeah.
Oh, this is happening now. I did not realize. I thought you were 2 hours away.
No, man, 30 minutes. If I can crash the wedding, if I can crash the what is the party after the wedding? What do they call that?
Rehearsal dinner.
Reception? No,
He's not going to a
reception.
wedding. It's a
Oh,
reception. Yeah, it's a reception. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just down there for the anniversary. So like, I'm sure like Sabrina and I are gonna get there, and we have a dinner set for Saturday night. But Friday night we could make something happen. I think.
Okay. Well, if there's room for me for the
There's
dinner,
always room for you.
the anniversary dinner, I mean, I don't want to impose, but I'll sit at the bar while y'all have dinner and just wait for y'all to finish, and then
No, I'm saying Friday night. There's always room for you. Saturday night there's room for no one but me and Sabrina.
what?
Friday night there's room. There's room.
Do you
What's
know
going
where you're
on
going? Or
Saturday
have you
night?
picked out a restaurant? Or you
Yeah, they told us. They told us something. Like I'm just kind of going.
what's the name of it? Nate probably knows it.
Yeah.
I'll text Sabrina right now. Actually, yeah, good point, Nate. You might know this.
This is Friday or Saturday, the dinner.
So Saturday we're going to dinner.
Okay.
Saturday.
You
let
and
me see.
Sabrina for the anniversary.
I'm asking right now. What is the name of the?
Just let me know your plans, man. I'll be. Let me sleep on the little fold out couch or chair that you got in your hotel room. I can't do that. My dogs will go. They won't go crazy, but I don't feel.
I get that.
leaving them.
I get that.
And he's not staying in a hotel room. He's staying at his buddy's house.
Oh, okay.
But listen, they might invite you to stay over too.
I mean, yeah.
They might. There's a possibility they might.
If there's an air mattress, or I'll buy an air mattress. I'll sleep on
I
the
wouldn't-
porch.
I wouldn't worry
The
about
weather's
it.
great up here. I'll sleep on the porch, man. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next, let's talk about. Let's go with.
Where we going?
Let's go with the Patriots review and preview. Patriots review of last week, and then a preview of this week's game.
Okay. I'll start with this. Last week, I think if Drake May played the whole game, I think it's a way bigger win than we got. I really do. The dude was lights out.
Yeah.
But that said, Jacoby Brissett, man, good for him. Like, good for him to get in there and go whoop some ass. And like, he did the
Yep.
same stuff we saw. We see he held the ball too long a couple times, whatever. But that lights out pass to Booty at the end, and then Ramondre Stevenson bringing it in, like that was fan-fucking-tastic. I don't think we beat Tennessee without Drake May in there, though.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh man, I don't.
Waller?
We'll get to that, but
I mean, tough saying. Jacoby came in and played really well, so it's hard for me to say that. I still maintain, and I think it's quite evident that Drake May's a far superior quarterback. So yeah, I think at surface level, I think they probably agree with each other. They probably would have won by more had he stayed healthy. But I'm not going to take anything away from Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think you did either. I thought it was a well-rounded game. I think the Jets stink. I don't know how they won this. I don't know how they won yesterday because they stink. It's one of the worst run franchises in all of sports, and it has been for quite some time. They find a way to lose like no other team does. They just lost to the worst team in football. We're the worst team in football, and they beat. What was Houston going into the game, Nate? What was Houston's record going into the game?
Houston
6-2?
6-1.
6-1. Like, I mean, Jesus. How does this football? The NFL is an amazing sport. Like, that those games can happen in consecutive weeks is like blows my mind.
I did see that coming. I'm just saying, like, not to give myself too much credit, but like I kept saying the Jets are gonna win.
You did. You called it. You
felt
called it.
Called it.
Yeah.
You called it. I'm excited. I thought the Patriots played well. This is another winnable game this week, right?
Yes.
This is absolutely a winnable game this week, and I think if we can string a couple together, that's momentum building. But again, I looked at what's the long term. We get a 8 or 9 pick versus a 2 or 3 pick. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I want Travis Hunter on our team.
I would love that too. I would love that too. I would love that too.
Yeah, well,
But I want to win. I'm a old school. I want to win every time we step on the field. I want the
I know, and that's the right thing. That's the right way to look at it. And I feel when I'm sitting in front of the TV watching the games, I feel the exact same way. Sitting here talking with us, I think, yeah, I'm glad we beat the Jets, but why? Like, why? So we can come in 5th place for like 5th to last place. Like, that's the part that I struggle with. Like, I don't know. I hear you, and like we gotta grow. We don't want to ruin Drake May. I get all that. It makes sense. Blah blah blah. We need to address the offensive line with as high a pick as we possibly can get, because we've talked about often on this podcast, free agents aren't coming to the Patriots. We have to build through the draft, and a difference between the 3rd pick and a 9th pick is substantial.
I mean, for offensive line, it's not.
It means you could get the best left tackle versus the 2nd or 3rd best potentially. At some point, this quarterback run has to stop, and they got to start drafting like the best players available. These teams that can't keep rifling through quarterbacks at an alarming rate and not address a glaring hole in their offensive line. Like, at some point, you've got to make the best decision of the best player. And God damn it, I hope it's a left tackle.
Well, I mean, you got to think of the geographical landscape of the NFL. Like, why are most of the teams drafting up in the top 5? Because they need a quarterback. So, of course, they need to definitely draft a quarterback. Like,
but do they? But do they? Because we have so many teams where we got quarterbacks like who did. There's been a number of quarterbacks. Drake, Mac Jones, our last quarterback, never got a fair shot behind that offensive line. This happens all the time where really good quarterbacks are put into really shitty positions, and then discarded. And you're like, well, wait a minute, is that fair? Did that guy get a fair shake? I feel like it happens quite a bit.
It does. It does. No doubt.
Yes, I agree. But again, I think so. And you hit the nail on the head with Wally. With will free agents come to New England? That's the question, right? But if we have the quarterback, and everybody in the league agrees that we have the quarterback, including the players, then I would think that we would be able to again spend that $40 million on a couple left tackles. We don't need a couple left tackles. How about a left tackle and a right tackle, and then a wide receiver, another wide receiver. Like, I'm disappointed that we weren't involved in any of the market for trades, and we were just giving people away. I mean, we gave away a 2nd round pick that we had that obviously had value and got a 6th round pick back. Like, I mean, that's just not good business. I don't even know why you do that. I don't like. It's not like he had a whole bunch of money.
It's money. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's money.
All money.
They're trying to continue to free up. They're cashing in this year. They're looking for value. And value to them is less money.
Well, but when you say cash in, I think they're
cash out.
They're trying to not tank without tanking. Just like, again, they started the season.
That's exactly
they started
right.
the season with having all that money that they could spend. They didn't spend it, and I won't say that people didn't want to come. Like, I think you could have found value in getting people in the door and paying them at a market value price and not overpaying, so to speak. But I don't think they even shopped around very hard, because they were content on putting the product on the field that would hopefully keep them in the the top 5 in the draft next year, and then we're moving forward from there. And it'll be interesting to see how they finish the season, because I do think that obviously the team is improving. It's weird that we have 2 wins and our backup quarterback has both the wins. I wouldn't have predicted that at this point in time, but I think they can beat the Titans. I'll be honest.
They can. They absolutely can.
Yeah. And again, like you said, I don't know if I want them to, but none of those players go out there and are trying to lose. They're all trying.
They can also get blown out by the Titans too, right? Like that's I think really as likely a scenario as them winning. It can go either direction.
I don't think so. Not with Mason Rudolph. Like literally, if the coaches aren't coaching and game planning, like if Mason Rudolph is starting, I'm sorry, like there's no reason why he might be one of the worst backup quarterbacks. Definitely, I would argue he's the worst starting quarterback this Sunday that's playing.
Mason Rudolph, he played well for Pittsburgh a few weeks, and then all of a sudden,
man.
I know that.
Come on.
What's
man.
that?
He's the worst. He's the worst. Name another starting quarterback that's worse than him this week. If Jacoby were playing, he's not as bad as Mason.
Oh, he's better than Mason Rudolph. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think because you challenged me. I'm trying to think.
I mean, let's pull up Jacoby's numbers in some games this year already. Like let's
I'll just show you the 2 wins that he's got versus Mason Rudolph, who has 0. Like, I mean, we can talk numbers, but I'm just saying, Mason, no. And I mean, when I look at matchups, that's normally where I start. Is like, who's
Miami's backup?
Oh yeah, you might have a point. But Tua is starting. Then my claim was starting this week.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Hunter.
Oh my God! Look at that. He had a game 12 for 18 for 98 yards. 98 yards in an NFL game. Jesus.
We already know in Drake May's first 2 starts,
he never broke 200 yards.
He outgained.
He has two throwing touchdowns on the year. What are we talking about here? He's not a good quarterback. Jacoby Brissett, if he were starting, is in the running with Mason Rudolph. He took some shots, but these numbers are in the numbers of. I mean, he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And he has 2 touchdowns this year.
There was no doubt in my mind, if we lived in a world where we could choose the quarterback, I would pick Mason Rudolph over I would not pick Mason Rudolph over Jacoby Brissett. Never. No, not any Sunday. So that's where I say Jacoby is better, and I don't.
That's fair enough.
I would agree his numbers aren't good, but the dude has heart. Like, I like the way he plays. He's lacking some skills. I mean, we drafted him as a project when we drafted him. He's bounced around. I
love the heart.
Success. Yeah, like he's a pro's pro, but he is not. He is a backup. But he's better than Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry.
Mason Rudolph went 22 for 38 for 266 last week.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet those numbers. Most of those.
He threw 2 interceptions, but he threw a touchdown too. I mean,
I bet he got most of those.
We're talking though
when the game was out of hand.
We're talking about a full game for Mason Rudolph versus a 3 quarters for Jacoby Brissett.
Okay, but Jacoby Brissett started multiple other games. It didn't come within 100 yards of that total. He ran for a touchdown too. So he had 2 touchdowns last week. Mason Rudolph had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which again, he's already scored as many touchdowns as Jacoby Brissett has all year. And Jacoby Brissett started through 6 weeks. So I hear what you're saying, and I just disagree. I think Jacoby Brissett's the worst quarterback.
That's fair.
So last week, the game was he threw a touchdown in the first quarter, and he threw a touchdown.
Cool. He ran a touchdown.
Mason Rudolph.
He ran a touchdown in.
Yeah, and so he scored a touchdown in the first quarter, and then he ran one in that made it 14-14. But after that, the game was over.
Yeah, but listen,
And I'm willing to bet he got
if your
most of his-
defense is
the
if your
rest of
defense
his
is putting up
yardage.
if your defense is letting the other team score 52 points and 34 points respectively, you can't blame the quarterback. 52 points? Good Lord.
Why don't you go look back at the Patriots were basically outscored by that much when Jacoby was playing and starting.
That doesn't make sense. You guys told me we had one of the best defenses in football. This doesn't. I don't. What are you talking about?
That's on me.
We've
That's
got it
on
on
me.
tape.
That's my fault.
I'm
We do not.
confused.
We were
We
supposed
might
to.
have one of the best
We were supposed
defenses in
to,
the
that's for sure.
I dropped them in fantasy, as you might have
That's
noticed.
why they play the games, Walter. That's why they play the games.
Huh. Weird.
We know now. We know now. Again, our expectation was that we would be good at defense.
We thought so. We thought so.
That's been a staple of ours for years. You know that, Wally. Don't play devil's advocate.
Let's go easy on them. Let's go easy on them. Hey, we have time to bash the Celtics real quick. They're
Oh,
off.
go for it.
They're off to a 6-1 start. Fuck those guys, huh?
Why do you want to bash the Celtics? Are you saying that's what I normally do?
I thought that's what you guys would want to do. No?
No, man. Nothing but love this year. They still have some holes in their game. They lost that game. Or got down
Against
by
Indiana.
20 because they continued to stroke instead of, and they will. This team is probably going to average 53-point attempts a game.
Oh, they're breaking a bunch of records this year.
And they will.
Are we done with the Patriots? We're going to more from the Celtics talk?
We haven't talked. No, we need to talk about. Or what is our prediction for the Titans game this week?
Oh, Titans game. If Drake May plays, I can't. Oh wait, no, I gotta have balls. There's no qualifications. There's no qualifying. Patriots win 17-10.
17-10, huh? I like that, Chet. You've been spot on lately. You picked the Jets. Like wise guys in Vegas and everywhere else that you can bet all have the Jets as a favorite, and everyone bet on Houston. Like literally everyone, the money was going to Houston, even though the wise guys were saying the Jets were gonna win, and none of us believed it. We didn't believe you when you picked the Jets. Like that was a terrible game too. Not to get off track.
It's a bad game. I agree.
That was a terrible game. Like they didn't play any better.
How was that
They didn't
Garrett
play
Wilson?
any better?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Did you guys watch that Garrett Wilson catch last night?
Yeah.
Did that look like a catch to you?
I don't know. He caught it. I don't know if his both feet were in
How
bounds.
is that not out of
or his
bounds?
knee. I don't know. I mean, they called it a catch. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I didn't see a catch there. I mean, it was an amazing catch, right? But I thought he was quite clearly out of bounds. I don't know how you call that a catch.
Didn't he have a toe drag, or while he was catching, one foot was down, so he only needed to get the other foot down?
But did he though? Like I thought his knee landed out of bounds. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That
It
was
didn't
a
look like
tough
a catch
one.
to me.
Yeah.
It was an amazing catch. Don't get me wrong, but it did look like a catch.
Amazing catch.
They're going to call it the jump man catch. I wonder if Jordan will sign him tomorrow.
Probably.
I thought him and Aaron Rodgers would be much better than they are this year so far, but there's still plenty of football left.
The Jets are one of the worst franchises in all sports. This is where players go to graveyard their career.
If you go to the Jets, that's where your dreams go to die.
Yeah.
This is true. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to see.
I think the Patriots are going to win 24-21. I think it's a close game. I think the Patriots pull it out. 24-21.
All right, we got it. 24-21, Wally. What about you, Nate?
You're picking the Patriots, Wally?
Mhm.
Oh,
I don't want. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I think Mason Rudolph is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. We want a top three pick next year. So
But Drake May is starting for the Patriots. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Actually, yeah.
I don't know that for sure,
I was gonna go against just so that we have something.
No, that's fair. That's
something
fair.
to talk about, but I want the Patriots to win. I want Drake May to get his first start or first win as a quarterback. I don't
Me
want
too.
Jacoby Brissett to be the only quarterback on the roster that has a win. I just don't
I
want
get
that.
that. That's what I want. That's what I'm hoping for too. So
So
24-20 on Wally. I said 17-10, and Nate, you said
I'm looking at the line right now. It's 3.5. I'd probably say 24-20.
24-20. Okay, got it.
Very
Remember.
similar to Wally, but I think Will Levis is starting. Trying to find out. I don't know if he's benched or not. They don't say. He's questionable, but he's not listed on the. He's not listed on the injury report. I wonder if he's going to start. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Game time. What time? Oh, it's noon. Are you going to that, Chet? Or no? It's in Tennessee.
I'll be there on the 17th.
Yeah, it's at Tennessee. 17th. That's awesome.
You want to fly up and take the party bus with us?
Oh man.
You just got to find a ticket.
Yeah, I should. I should. Don't tempt me.
I'm in.
All right. Next, did you guys talk World Series yet?
No,
No, we didn't. We held off on that.
I thought it was. I loved the results. I thought the Dodgers were quite clearly the better team.
Easy.
Yeah, and it wasn't even particularly close. 4 games was. In fairness, admitted hand up, I'm very much an anti-Yankees guy. But I thought a couple things stood out to me. Number one was quite clearly Freddie Freeman had an amazing series. In 5 games. He tied the record for the most RBIs ever in a World Series. I mean, that's pretty impressive considering it was 5 games. Very much deserving of the MVP. And really, I don't know if you guys have ever seen any interviews with this guy. He is really a likable dude. Like he says the right things. He's a nice guy. Like I like seeing guys like that win. I really don't like the Dodgers. Like if I were to rank my least favorite teams in baseball, I'd go Yankees number 1, probably Dodgers number 2. And again, I think this speaks to kind of the state of baseball. I think it speaks to a bigger picture that 2 out of the top 3 payrolls in baseball again are in the World Series. It's the haves and the have-nots. They're going to get the biggest. The Dodgers could very well sign Juan Soto away from the Yankees. Like I don't think that's that outlandish. And them coming into next year with a $360 million salary, like it is so absurd that there's a team like that, and then the Oakland A's had I think a $47 million total salary this year of all their players. Like, what are we doing? This is going to continue to get further and further apart if they don't address the inconsistencies in regards to salary. I also like seeing Mookie Betts win. Like, it is what it is. I think the Red Sox screwed him over, but I root for him. He's one of only 3 active players with 3 World Series titles. With the only positional player with 3 World Series titles. I think he continues to cement his case for the Hall of Fame, which I think is already given, to be honest with you. The Dodgers are going to be good for another 8 years. The Yankees, I think, are one of the worst teams in recent memory in the World Series, personally. I don't think they're that good. I think if they lose Juan Soto, they drop back to middle of the pack, to be honest with you. Garrett Cole's really good. They don't have much in the way of pitching depth. They don't have a great bullpen. They had a couple hitters that got really hot and carried them into the World Series. And if they stand to lose one of those, and I think they're going to do everything in their power to re-sign Juan Soto. But if they end up losing him, boy, I don't know. I think they drop back considerably next year, and they could very well lose him to their cross city rivals, the Mets. Well, I could see the Mets throwing a ton of money at Soto's way. I wasn't that entertained by the World Series. I thought there were a couple good storylines. Freddie Freeman hitting that home run, that walk-off home run in Game 1 is an iconic moment. Him winning the World Series, him winning the MVP is an iconic moment, but it's a forgettable World Series. The Dodgers were almost preordained to be here when they signed Shohei. They were already the best team in baseball, and they signed the best player in baseball. Like, it's hard. It's hard for me not to just say like, oh, great, there they go. They're gonna win again next year too. These fucking guys. Yeah.
Hey, they're making me Dodgers fans, man. I like the way that their organization spends money, puts a good product on the field. I wouldn't complain about ticket prices soaring. Like I think they did miss.
Making me a Dodgers fan. Oh
I mean,
God, that makes me want to throw. I love
Mookie Betts.
I just threw up in my mouth when I heard that.
Mookie Betts will always be a Red Sox to me. Like you're right. We did screw him over. We didn't pay him when we should have. We should have kept him. He's still on a team that has probably one of the best baseball players that we'll see in our lifetime. He's still only second to him on that team and in the league, in my opinion. He's just a well-rounded position player. Plays almost every position. I think this year he played 4 different positions in the field. Like. That's unheard of, and he's probably going to win a Gold Glove at one of them. And it'll probably be a different position that he doesn't have a Gold Glove in. Like that dude is special. He's awesome. I do think what would have made
we could use a player like him on our team.
Yeah, I mean, I do think what would have made this World Series memorable was Ohtani going out there and pitching an inning or two. I really wish. He wanted us to bet it. Yeah. I really wish they would have done that. That's an iconic moment. Like we have never, ever, not since Babe Ruth have we seen. So probably no one alive today has seen somebody bat, play the field, and hit and pitch in the World Series or in any game.
That's my point about the Dodgers is that like good teams win even when it's sloppy, right? Ohtani was injured. You could tell I'm not a big baseball guy, but even I'm watching SportsCenter. I'm seeing like the guy, he can't do what he normally does. He can't steal bases like he normally does. And they still beat the Yankees in 5 games. The biggest story about this World Series is going to be 2 asshats that tried to steal the ball from Mookie Betts. And that's this World Series. That's the story of this one.
Yeah, I agree. I really wish that Ohtani would have pitched. Like I wanted
that would have been great.
That. And also I just wanted the Dodgers to have a sense of urgency. And Ohtani too. Like I don't want him to go out there and blow out his arm, obviously, but I want him to think like I may not be back here again. I may not be.
You think if they went to 7, Nate? If they went to 7, let's say, do you think they would have put Ohtani out there like oh my God, we're in Game 7. We need this guy.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want him to start. I wanted him to go out there and throw an inning or 2.
I agree.
Why? For the show, for the spectacle. Like again, this is you got $700 million wrapped up in this guy, and until he's 110%, don't put him anywhere near that pitcher's mound. Like he's way too valuable as a hitter. He's way too valuable to that franchise. They just signed him to a $700 million contract. I wouldn't let him go anywhere near that pitching mound until you're 100% certain of it.
But even at that price, though, if he's not pitching, he's still worth that. Just being a DH,
probably. Probably. You're probably right. I'm not commenting on the size of the contract. That's what it was going to take to sign him because he's worth that. Not only because of what he does in the baseball field, but for what he brings in terms of sales. I mean, this is a once in a generation player. You had said something that he might be one of. I think he is the best baseball player we're going to see in our lifetime. There's only one other player that's hit and pitched at that level, and it's synonymous with baseball and Babe Ruth, right? I mean, so this is the level we're talking about. We're talking about watching right now the career of an all-time great. And I think if he's able to stay healthy, he's going to. And think about this: he played all this season after undergoing Tommy John last year. Like, I mean, this is absurd. He had a 50-50 season. Like, are you kidding me? 50 steals and 50 home runs. Like, we're watching one of the all-time greats. And next year, when he's also their ace, in addition to being their best hitter. Like, well, he's worth every bit of that contract.
Yeah, I agree. agree.
I love the Yankees collapse. In fact, their historic collapse in Game 5. That was the most runs a team's ever come back from in a clinching game of the World Series. That's music to my ears. Love everything about it. Especially on a day where Garrett Cole was dominant. Their shitty defense cost them the World Series. Love it. That's music to my ears.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah, that was the most memorable part for me too. Just blunders, World Series blunders on the same scale as Buckner, for sure.
Oh God, Buckner. Why would you say that? Don't say that.
We've overcome that. I mean, we went.
Oh, the Red Sox have, yeah.
We were the first team to
Probably
come back
bigger than
from
Buckner, to be honest with you.
0-3.
I think
What's that?
5 runs. I mean,
Yeah.
Wait, Wally, hold on. I love it, but that's a seriously hot take. You think it's a bigger issue than Buckner?
I think it's a bit. I mean, that specific game. I mean,
Yeah.
the Buckner moment was bigger. Yeah, I agree with that. You're 100% correct. But they were up 5-0 with their ace on the mound. Like that. That's a epic collapse.
I agree.
I don't know if I'd call the Patriots the Red Sox necessarily a collapse. It was an error, right? They had an error.
Right. Yeah, their ace started.
The Yankees had
with
3
the first
errors.
Oh, I get all that. Buckner that was Game 6, World Series done on the line.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. If the Yankees win Yankees win Game 5 and then a 3-2, that's a different ball game. Shit
Sure
can
is.
happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, as Red Sox fans, we have no idea what it's like to come back from like an 0-3 deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
All
that.
right. Way too early prediction. Who's making it back to the World Series, or who's making it to the World Series next year? I got the Dodgers
Next year?
again. Yep, I got the Dodgers again, and
Oh.
I think, man, I think out of the AL, I'm going with the Red Sox, man. They're gonna pull it off. Dodgers and Red Sox next year. I'll always say Red Sox. I think Dodgers are gonna repeat, but
I will say this about the Red Sox next year. We'll touch on it briefly. They have their crop of minor leaguers are all coming up this year. They got 4 of the top 55 in baseball, including the #1 prospect in Roman Anthony. Let's not. They are going to be. They had a. Their young players played really well this year. Jared Duran played really well. I thought Cedane Raphael played some really good defense. We're going to have guys like Anthony. Who's that new to get Christian something or other? I mean, I'm excited for it. ESPN's got him ranked as the 10th, the way too early. Christian Campbell is the kid's name. Marcelo Mayer, that shortstop we drafted, that's been a top prospect for a number of years. He'll be up next year. Kyle Teal, one of their top. He's a catcher. I don't know what we're gonna do. We have 2 good catchers, but he'll be up next year. I think that's going to allow them to hopefully invest in some serious pitching, because I like what we're doing. If we can have a full season from Cassis, like that's a nice young nucleus we can build around. We just need to spend money. I tell you what, sticking a guy like Juan Soto in the middle of this offense would really make a difference. And I don't know why we can't do that. But more importantly than that, they need to invest in pitching. We need the top tier pitchers. We need an ace. I'm excited for next year. And I think the Yankees are going to take a giant step back.
If they don't sign, well, I think they should probably move on from Aaron Boone. Like there's probably some disconnect there between him and management, I think. And he made
Boy, tough to do after making it to the World Series.
It is, but it's the Yankees, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying he hasn't done them right and given them a lot of good years, but he had some very memorable coaching blunders this year in the playoffs.
Yep.
And they almost got there in spite of him making some bad decisions. So yeah, I don't think they're, like you said earlier, I don't think the Yankees are going to re-sign Soto. Meaning, I think there's just going to be a compete there, and he's going to choose more money and someone probably like the Mets is going to give him more money.
Yeah.
Somewhat overspend. And I would not be surprised, and it would be hilarious if this happened. But if Juan Soto gets an offer from the Dodgers that is very much on the same line as Shohei, as in the duration, like a $500 million contract over the next 12 years,
Yeah.
type of thing, like I would laugh if that happened. That's just the rich getting richer, and I want to go out to watch a game in LA at some point, man.
That's disgusting. If they sign him, I might not watch a single inning of baseball next year. Like, I just don't see. Like, what are we doing? Just draft an all-star team and put everyone against the Dodgers. As for my second team in the World Series, I think Baltimore Orioles are going to get over that hurdle. I think they've really built a competitive team. Especially if they're able to re-sign Corbin Burns, I think they're going to be the team to beat in the American League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. I am the most unqualified person in the whole world. So I'm going to say Mets and Devil Rays.
What?
I think the Mets are a good pick. I think, especially if they sign, I think they've got some momentum, and if they are able to sign, if they're able to sign Soto or another big, they will spend the money. The Devil Rays, you're way off base. The Devil Rays, they stink. They don't have a place to play either. The roof blew off there.
Yeah, they were selling off all the talent that they had. Yeah.
And they were in a selling mode. They're not good.
The New Orleans Saints were like only a year away. Once the roof blew off their place, they won a Super Bowl a year later. Just saying.
All right, I mean, it's your pick, man. Good for you. I'm with you.
Good boy, Chad. Good boy.
All right. Next is
what we got.
The Celtics. We can talk about the Celtics.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
On the Celtics. Wally, you want to start us off with this?
I thought it was a good week for the Celtics. 5-1, they won tonight in a very contentious game against Charlotte. Old friend Grant Williams took out Tatum hard, like a football tackle. Took him out. Got kicked out of the game. Even in their loss to Indianapolis, I felt like coming back from 20 points in the fourth quarter shows me a lot. The fact they lost, I was upset about, but I think the way they came back showed me what this team is capable of. They can put up a lot of points when they're not playing well. They did it last year, and as they continue to evolve and frankly start playing better defense, and I think they will do that. They're only going to continue to get better. This is, and I have said it, I will say it again, this is going to be one of the all-time great teams. It's looking like Porzingis will be back sooner rather than later. He's been shooting around and playing harder. I don't think it's going to take till Christmas to get him back. Neemias Queta, I thought, has had a really good week, and he played well today, and he played well in the Indianapolis game. I felt like, and I understand why he did it, Joe kept him in for the entire run in the fourth and put him back in the overtime period. I think he was really tired at the end. I would like to see Al back in there. But he played huge minutes and played really well. If they can continue to develop him, a la Robert Williams or someone like that, he could be a meaningful contributor to this team, especially considering the age and wellness of our two big men in Porzingis and Horford. I think having a guy like him and his energy and his athleticism could be huge for this team. I'm excited. I think Peyton Pritchard's taken a nice step forward. He could turn into one of the elite six men in this league. Instant offense off the bench if he continues to shoot the way he's been shooting. Jason Tatum is, again, continuing to play at an MVP level. He's well-rounded. He's scoring the points. He's even on games where he's not playing well. That Indianapolis game, he went to the hole. He went to the hole hard and fouled a lot and got a shit ton of free throws. And his jump shot was off. Like, if he can continue to evolve in that and go to the hole when he's not shooting well and draw the fouls, boy, he's going to be a tough guy to stop, and we're going to be a tough team to beat. I like what I've seen from this year. We're going to continue to get better. We are the best team in basketball by a considerable margin.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Yes, we are definitely the best team in basketball, and I'm very happy about that. I don't know if they rested Tillman tonight, or I've been liking seeing him in the lineup. They rested. When I say Tillman. He just didn't play. He suited, but he didn't play. He didn't log any minutes. But yeah, so this
he hasn't been getting a ton of minutes. It feels like Keita's jumped over him in the depth chart. We've certainly seen more of Keita, and I guarantee he's a center versus a power forward. But
yeah, they will definitely. They're gonna shoot some threes at a record-setting pace this year. Like I said earlier, they're gonna probably average like 50 threes a game, and they're probably gonna shoot it at like somewhere in the range of like 40, 45, 47%. Like, so it's beneficial that they do that, but they might have 3 players on the team that like break the same record as far as 3-point attempts in a season. Like, they're going to shoot that much, and I like the confidence. I wish that they'd recognize sooner, like, if it's not falling, let's go to the hole. Let's do something else with motion. Like, and the good thing about it right now, even though it's the beginning of the year, like, even the misses that they're missing and the shots, like literally all the shots that they're taking, they're open 3-point shots.
Good shots.
Like they're not forcing anything up. They're taking everything in the flow of the offense, like passing up open shots to get a wide open shot. Like, it's great to see. I mean, it almost reminds me of the Spurs back in the day with Manu and Duncan and Parker. Like, they would just pass the ball around. I got an open shot, I'm gonna pass it up for a layup, or just like, or I'll pass it again for a wide open shot, as opposed to a good shot that's contested. Like, just totally unselfish team basketball.
Yes, and they develop players from within. I agree with that with San Antonio comparison. Guys like Keita. I think this Jordan Walsh kid that we drafted last year, I've seen some minutes out of him this year that I've really liked. Very scrappy basketball player. Hauser, Pritchard, all guys we drafted with a later pick that have started earning minutes and are in rotation for the best team in basketball. That's similar to me to that San Antonio team, is that they're developing talent with a lower draft picks that are able to contribute at a high level because they buy into the system. And more importantly, you have superstars who buy into the system.
Yeah, and the coach has to get some credit for that too. Like, of course, he's part of the developmental process of those players, but he's also proven to me that I feel like he did it last year too, but he's just, the players like him. He gels with the team. Like, I sent you guys a little reel from Instagram about Joe Mazzulla talking about the attention and that Tatum gets, like, the negative attention. The conversation was, how do you think he feels about getting or handling the negative attention? And he had a good mindset on how he's talked to Jason Tatum about handling it. And like, I just think that his headspace, his intelligence, his acumen and basketball awareness, and also the way he treats his players, I think it's everything's clicking. I hope that there isn't anything that changes in the near future, but yeah, I mean, again, for Pritchard the other day to come off the bench, score 28 points, and like, nobody be upset about or feel like they didn't get theirs, and everybody just be excited for that dude. Yeah, like that's what you want to see on the court. That's what you want to hear about off the court. So yeah, I think we're all excited to see where this goes this season. Like, the revenge tour continues, right? Everyone's put on notice, so it's gonna be fun. Even Hauser, your boy Hauser, man, he's just lights out.
I love that guy. Yep. Hey, we got a lot of room to grow. We have not been playing well defensively. We've not been good at all defensively. So I think that as we continue to gel more as a team, I think we're going to get better. This offense is going to continue to operate at an elite level. And we're an elite defensive team that we have not shown that yet. We didn't show that tonight. We haven't shown that at all. We didn't show it against Indiana, that's for sure. We've got to step it up defensively. Well, we will.
I mean, we will. I'd argue that the last 2 quarters, including the overtime. So the fourth quarter and overtime, we started playing like an elite defensive unit. But
That fourth quarter for sure. Yeah, I
it
agree.
was too late. It was too late.
Yeah.
Too much. That's also why, again, man, it's okay if you miss some shots, but once we're down 10, let's holster the guns and like put our heads down and take it to the hole. Like get fouls, get somebody in foul trouble. And I hate Indiana too. I really do. I dislike Indiana. I don't like how it'll probably be a common theme this year with everybody coming in. And if they play decent against them, they're going to be all hyped up. We're going to get everybody's best game. But for them to come in and I didn't like the way that Indiana was handling it. Being, they were just super flamboyant. I shouldn't say flamboyant.
That's their style, though. That's who they are. They're with that. They're like that with everybody. That's Halliburton style. I don't have any problem with that. They're consistent.
What? You like the trash talk?
I don't mind it. I like Halliburton. He's a positive guy. Like, if you've seen interviews with him, I just like him. It is not because I've had him 3 years around my fantasy basketball team. Maybe it is a little bit, but he is one of the few true facilitating point guards left in this league. He passes at an elite level. He gets 10 to 11 assists a night and can score 20 points. Yeah, he's one of the top 3 point guards in the league, or floor generals at least, I'd say.
Oh, I mean, he was an all-star last year.
He was on the Olympic team. He didn't play, but he was on the Olympic team.
He didn't play, just like Jaylen Brown and just like Jason Tatum. But
I heard murmurs that he was injured.
He might have been, but he could be on his own revenge tour. Like
he could be. Yeah,
I'm sure
he hasn't played well yet.
Yeah, but he could have that same mentality. So,
all right, I see that. We'll
find out.
All right, boys, it's getting late. It's just about midnight. I don't have much left in me.
I feel that too. You guys probably see me. I'm yawning. I'm like, oh god.
Halloween kept me up too late last night.
You want to lightning fire some shit before we go?
A what?
Lightning fire some topics before we go.
Oh no, I just wanted to tell you guys. I had a conversation with a guy yesterday, and he tried to sell me a coffin. And I said, that's the last thing I need.
Dad joke of the week. That's a good one. I'm going to steal that.
I appreciate you guys logging on, and we'll definitely we'll work on I wanted to talk about some things. I'm sorry, we'll sign off.
Wait, Nate.
Thanks.
Nate, I may see you next week in person. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Keep it in the loop. Let me know if we're going to do it next week or not. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for logging in again. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Til'ton the Scales. Smash the like button, follow, comment on all of our stuff. Appreciate it, y'all.
Go Celtics.
All right.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Til'ton the Scales. Join us next week for more shenanigans and hot takes. Do us a favor and smash that like or subscribe button. Like, comment, and share any of our content. Your feedback will make a difference and make us better because we can't get any worse.